Before smartphones, people lived in a mental space where thoughts were not constantly interrupted. The absence of digital distractions allowed the mind to grow, think deeply, and remain fully present. Their attention was not under continuous pressure. There were no notifications pulling them away every few seconds, no urgency to check what they were missing, and no endless stream of information demanding a reaction. Life unfolded one moment at a time, and the mind learned how to stay with that moment fully. In that world, boredom was unavoidable, and that is exactly what shaped their psychology. Boredom did not come with an escape button. When there was nothing to do, there was simply nothing to do. The mind had no choice but to turn inward. Thoughts wandered, imagination activated, creativity slowly formed without effort. This process trained the brain to generate stimulation from within, instead of constantly depending on external input. Over time, boredom stopped feeling uncomfortable. It became familiar. And familiarity with boredom quietly built patience, imagination, and emotional control. Many people today fear boredom because it feels empty. But for those who grew up without smartphones, boredom was not emptiness, it was mental space. Curiosity also worked differently. Questions did not disappear after a quick search. If someone wondered about something, the answer did not arrive instantly. Sometimes it took hours, days, or even longer to find out. This delay strengthened curiosity instead of killing it. The mind learned how to hold questions, explore possibilities, and think deeply rather than consuming instant answers. Memory played a much larger role in daily life. Important information lived inside the mind because it had to. Phone numbers, directions, schedules, and responsibilities were remembered, not stored digitally. This constant use of memory strengthened recall and organization. The brain became reliable because it was regularly exercised. Focus developed naturally. Reading meant reading, not switching between apps. Listening meant listening, not waiting for the next distraction. Tasks were completed with continuity. Even small activities required sustained attention. Over time, this built the ability to concentrate deeply without feeling restless. Social interaction without smartphones demanded presence. Conversations required attention. You couldn't half listen while checking a screen. Eye contact mattered. Facial expressions carried meaning. Tone of voice revealed emotions. Silence wasn't awkward, it was allowed. This taught people how to be comfortable with pauses and how to listen without rushing to respond. Because of this, emotional intelligence developed through real experience. People learned empathy by observing others directly. They learned how moods shift, how emotions hide behind words, and how to respond appropriately. Relationships were built through shared time, not constant digital contact. Time itself felt different. Waiting did not feel like wasted time. Long car rides, standing in lines, or sitting quietly were normal parts of life. These moments trained patience and emotional regulation. The ability to wait without discomfort quietly builds resilience, something modern life rarely encourages. Identity was formed privately. There was no audience watching every step. Mistakes happened without being recorded. Growth occurred without comparison to thousands of others. Self-worth came from effort, progress, and personal achievement rather than public approval. Confidence grew internally instead of being borrowed from validation. Comparison existed, but it was limited. People compared themselves to those physically around them, not to millions of curated lives. This reduced pressure and unrealistic expectations. Growth felt personal instead of performative. Solitude played an important role. Being alone did not automatically feel negative. It became a space for reflection, emotional processing, and creativity. People learned how to sit with their thoughts without escaping them. This built inner stability, the ability to settle emotions and reset mentally. When smartphones eventually entered their lives, they entered an already formed psychological structure. Technology became something to use, not something to depend on. These individuals understood disconnection. Because they remembered connection without devices, stepping away did not create anxiety. They often pause before reacting. They think before responding. They reflect before sharing. Instead of documenting every moment, they experience it first. Instead of searching immediately, they try to think. This creates depth in how they interact with the world. Psychologically, growing up without smartphones created minds that are more self-directed. Attention is not easily hijacked. Boredom is not feared. Silence is not uncomfortable. Identity is not fragile. In today's world of constant stimulation, these traits feel rare. Not because technology is bad, but because balance is. Those who remember life before smartphones carry a slower mental rhythm, one that values presence over speed, depth over noise, and awareness over distraction. That early environment continues to shape how they navigate modern life quietly, subtly, but powerfully.